A response video to James Yeager's thing on the Hardigg medical locker. Now I understand the whole tactical thing. I'm into that too, but I've been looking for some sort of a system, a box system where I can haul medical clinic type emergency medical supplies but still have reasonably fast access to it, along with weather and environment protection. One of the problems with bags is they're generally not going to be something that's harsh weather, waterproof, can be in the back of a cargo type vehicle or on a boat and expect to safely survive, let's say, boat capsizing or something like that. The Hardigg cases can. And so, you know, if your medical tent gets rained on, or let's say your emergency medical treatment area is temporarily outdoors while the tents are being set up, I was looking at Pelican boxes, I was looking at the Hardigg kits. I wasn't aware that that fancy one with the metal drawers was being made available on eBay until after I did some checking after James Yeager's video. Generally speaking, if you're getting it from his medical supplier, I think that was shipping included, somewhere in the $1,200 range. He didn't have very many. They are trickling onto eBay, $250, $350. The big issue is a lot of them are from East Coast suppliers, so the shipping charges are pretty high going West Coast. Now, when we look at new styles of toolboxes available open market, plastic toolboxes kind of vary, but DeWalt and Ridgid have come out with these newer models that are based on a nesting system, which means that these things will kind of snap together like Legos, and then there's a little latching mechanism that allows them to snap to each other. And so Ridgid has pretty reasonable pricing on their stuff. The wheeled cart is built into the bottom unit with nice heavy-duty handles and everything. And then you got these box units that attach to that. It's pretty good stuff. The other thing I'm noticing is that both the DeWalt and the Ridgid have the gasket, the rubber gasket up here, just like you'd see on a Pelican or a Hardigg. I'm not quite sure if it's submersible waterproof, but it looks like it would take a lot of splashing and a lot of abuse. The thing about DeWalt with theirs on their nesting system, latches are plastic, on Ridgid it's metal. But DeWalt has one that's apparently not yet available at Home Depot that is 2 drawers. So you can mix match sizes on these things. And then the little cart is a separate item because they can be used with or without the little cart. And so they have a bunch of configurations you can remount these in, which is very interesting. The thing about the one with the 2 drawers, apparently 13 inches tall, or maybe it's 10 inches tall. That's not quite, I'm not quite sure if that's the depth. I'm thinking that maybe because they all say 13 and a half inches or 13 and a quarter inches is one of the dimensions on all of them. The 13 and a quarter is the depth, and then they come in different heights. So the DS400, which I have here in the store, is this one, which goes for about $70. I wouldn't complain about that price given the quality of what's here. And this DS, I think this is the 150 here. It's got really tricky stuff. It's got like internal bins, movable stuff. The one I'm really interested though is that drawer, because in the pictures it shows that each one of those 2 drawers can hold the DeWalt power tools, which means it should be able to hold medical items that are very time critical, like an AED, an automatic electric defibrillator. It's a machine that you would hook up to somebody who is, let's say, had a heart stoppage or a heart attack. In the executive security world, we trained on those. You had to be certified on them to work for the Steel Foundation in the PSD details, especially the stateside one. Everybody had to learn how to use a AED, and then that was part of the curriculum at the ITG courses, at least when I went through it. Because in the executive security world, a lot of times you're dealing with older executives who are more likely to have a heart attack than get shot. So getting everybody medically qualified was kind of important on that. And in my mobile clinic survival prep type stuff, an AED is important, but the way those things come packaged, I don't think it's appropriate to keep it in a bag, which isn't really going to be waterproof. It's got to be a box item. You've got about a magic 2 minutes to get at somebody who's having a heart attack, which means that box would deploy to field location for civilian activities. And so you take that to an area for civilian activities. But I'm open to opinions on this. If you guys want to get down to Home Depot, look at this, let me know. I'm going to get in touch with the people at DeWalt and see if the rest of these items are going to be available this season and what we can get on that. Because for the cost, looks like you'll be into this kit about $250. It looks to me like it's a pretty strong contender compared to, let's say, military surplus Pelican Hardigg stuff. And the problem I have with the military surplus Pelican Hardigg thing with the drawers is that you have to get that lid off to get at those drawers, which can be too much time to get at that defibrillator. And that's really the big deal, is the time that it takes to get to that defibrillator. We had to be able to get that defibrillator out of the trunk of a car within 30 seconds was kind of the standard for my group. I think the regular standard was around a minute. If you can get to somebody, get that machine on and running on somebody in 2 minutes, you're probably going to save them. I think there's just too much time involved with getting into one of those Hardigg cases, the way those latches work. And that's why I really want to look at this DeWalt system with the drawers.